Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Lauk, and today we're going to be reviewing Level 2, Keith Snell Fundamentals of Piano Theory, page 64 and 65. So if you have this book on you, please open it up on 64 and 65. So let's first look at some answers, okay, and see if they are correct. So question number 13 answers question about Cosiase by Beethoven. A. What is the meaning of allegretto? So you see the question mark, so that means what is the meaning of allegretto? If you know what allegro means, you can guess that actual allegretto has something to do with allegro. But whenever there is added etto to a word, that etto in Italian basically means less. So if allegro is a fast tempo, that means allegretto is going to be less fast tempo. So you can write a couple things. You can write slower than allegro, you can write somewhat fast. It's both kind of be correct. Just know that it's slower than allegro. Okay. Let's look at B. What key is this piece? G, that is correct. Time signature is 2/4. Kind of note, quarter note gets 1 count, so all of that correct. The E, the notes of incomplete measure before measure 1 are called N. Okay, question mark. So, Keith Snell books are built the way you can always go back in the book, find a unit that actually answers this question and review it, okay, and find the answer to your question. So you don't actually have to struggle finding answers somewhere else. So Keith Snell always provides you with an answer. Just go back in the book. But anyway, when you see the incomplete measure before measure 1 called, okay? So what you have to do is go back and look at those notes right here, okay? So musicians have 3 names for this one. First one is the fancy one called anacrusis. Anacrusis. I think it's Latin. Second is going to be pick up notes. So basically it's a pick up, da-ga-dum, bum, bum, bum. And the third one, we call it upbeat. Okay, so you can choose any of those. They're all going to be correct. And I believe Keith Snell probably calls them upbeat. Okay, what is the meaning of mezzo forte? Oh, this one is actually not that hard. Mezzo in Italian, it means half. Let me actually spell it for you. Mezzo. So for example, if you hear the word mezzo soprano, soprano is the female voice that goes very high, and mezzo soprano doesn't go as high as soprano, so that's why it's called mezzo. Okay, so mezzo forte is basically half loud, not so loud as forte. Okay, let's look at the next one and see what is the question here. What triad is formed by the bass clef notes in measure 1? C, B, and D. Yeah, but notes are correct, but that wasn't the question. They asked what triad, okay? So you understood the notes correctly, but basically you have to understand that out of those notes, you have to make up a triad. And what triad is G, B, and D? It's actually G major triad, okay? G major triad. And the next question, is that a primary triad? So what are primary triads? Primary triads, it's a triad that built on the first step of scale, and you should remember the Latin, the Roman numerals. It's a 4th step of scale. Sorry, pardon me, it's not very good 4. And it's a 5th step of scale. Why they called primary? Because they most often used, we always return to them, so we call them primary. So, is G major triad a primary triad in G major? Of course, because it's a first step. So yes, you're going to circle, obviously yes in this case. Non-decimbrical interval measure 2, it's a 7, okay. Yeah, that's correct, that is a 7, good job. What is the name of the sign under the A sharp in measure 4? Let's look measure 4 and the sharp. Oh, this little thing right here, okay? You can see that, right? So that means accent. Basically, you have to play, when you're playing from measure 1, So it adds actually energy and kind of spring-like feeling to this music. So make sure to do this accent whenever you play this kind of music. Okay, so measure 4, accent. So go ahead, write it in. Name the circled interval measure 8. It's a fifth. Yes, that's correct. What triad is formed by the circled notes in measure 9 and 10? So you said D, F, and A. So for example, first of all, it's not going to be D, F, and A. It's going to be D, F sharp, because why? You're in G major, right? And you have F sharp, right? So, and let's look again. Primary triads. You probably remember, I just actually said it, right? That primary triads are the triads based on first, fourth, and fifth step of the scale. So now let's figure out if D major triad, so first of all you have to understand it's a D major, right? So D major triad, that's the first thing you should write, D major. What is D in G major? If you count the scale, G is first, A is second step of the scale, B is third step of the scale, C is fourth step of the scale, and D is fifth step of the scale. So the question is if it's a primary triad. It is, because it's based on the fifth step of scale. Okay. The music in measure 9 and 10 is the same in measure 11 and 12. This is example of repetition. Absolutely correct. Yeah, because if the music is the same, it just repeats itself. Write the counts under the notes in measure 13 and 14. Okay, the rhythm and syncopation of upbeat. Let's see first the counts for 13 and 14. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... Oh, you actually did more. You did 15 as well. And you did separately baseline. Well, good job. So this student is really good because she made sure she write everything under every hand. Good work. Okay. Oh, I see a little mistake actually in measure 16. I don't know. Can you spot it? So you see, this is an eighth note, right? So eighth note only equals half of the beat. So your and is actually going to go here. Okay. It's in complete measure. So that's why you're going to have and 2 here. So same here. 1 and 2 is actually going to be here. So it was just right hand that was not the consonant note was written correctly. Okay, let's look at the next question. They are asking if this rhythm example of syncopation or upbeat. So remember, we just talked about upbeat being a part of incomplete measure that actually starts before the measure starts. Okay, let's look at that and let's see what we can find. Okay, so measure 13, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So whenever accent falls on the weak part of the beat, and in this case it's right here, the end one, that's a weak part of the beat, and here's the same thing, the accent falls on the weak part of the beat, that's called syncopation, not upbeat, because for upbeat, ooh, I think I just exited that. Okay, let's see if I can put it back. Yes, I can. Okay, thank you for your patience while I'm struggling a little bit with the technology. Okay, so anyway, remember that's called syncopation. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and weak part of the beat accented, always syncopation. And what does da capo al fine mean? To repeat it from the beginning until fine. Yeah, that's correct. So play it through once, then go back to capo. Capo means head. Okay. Oh, what is the form of this piece? Binary or ternary? AB or ternary? ABA. Okay, let's actually look at this piece. So that's definitely your A, right? You can actually see it in the music, right? So this is your A part. Let's see. This part looks different, right? Tagadap-pa-pa-pa-pa-ga-da-ga-dum, tagadap-pa-pa-pa-pa-da-da-da-dum, tagadap-pa-da-da-pa-da-di-pa-pa-pa-pam, right? So, that's your B. And finally, you have what? Da capo al fine. That means you do have to go back to A, right? And you play an A again. So that means your form is A, B, A. Oops, not A, B, B. It's A, B, A because you have this da capo al fine. So your form is made of 3 parts, not 2. That means it's ternary, not binary. Binary form is A, B. But because you have repetition of A, A, B, A, that's a ternary form, 3-part form. Okay, let's go back and see if there's anything else left that needs to be clarified. So, Ludwig van Beethoven, the last question of the page. Ludwig van Beethoven lived during classical period, romantic period. So, you can, I mean, some people, no, actually no one disputes it, but he's a classical composer. So he kind of the height of the classical era. So before him, Mozart and Haydn. Actually, Haydn taught Beethoven for a while, so he had a high respect for him. Classical period, so you can certainly circle classical. And again, if you feel there's any questions while you're doing this, always go back into the book and always go back into Keith Snell books and find, for example, unit would be called music history, and you would read it and you would find an answer for your question. So hopefully that was helpful. Good luck with the rest of the review test.